Hello and welcome back to the Squirrel Head YouTube channel, and this is the preview for Liverpool at home versus Crystal Palace. And Jurgen Klopp has just done his press conference for the afternoon. So I always kind of want to wait until he does his press conference and we get the latest news on things like injuries, because I was going to record it yesterday and I thought, well, something could change. Obviously, we've been told that Trent Wijnaldum is going to be out for 4 weeks. Devastating. Trent Wijnaldum was also a fitness risk. But then Jurgen Klopp does his press conference today, and Trent Alexander-Arnold and Trent Wijnaldum will have fitness tests tomorrow or today, whichever day it is, today or tomorrow. They'll give them as much chance as possible to play in the game. So you sat here thinking, it's like, well, hang on just a minute. So Trent Alexander-Arnold isn't out for 4 weeks then. Trent Wijnaldum could play in this game. And there's a lot of coulds and could be and would be and should be, that it makes, obviously, predicting the starting 11 a little bit difficult, okay? And it would be absolutely class if we could have Trent Alexander-Arnold playing, because then it means that we can, whatever happens in terms of midfield, whether it means not Lovren, sorry, because Lovren's still going to be out, but whether it means Fabinho drops into centre-back, then Milner can go into the midfield and doesn't have to drop into the right-back position. Now, these are obviously the options that we've got. Lovren is apparently, he's working his way back, but he's not there yet. Similar sort of situation with Gomez. So I think Lovren could be back, or is due to be back, before the Leicester game, which is next week, I think. Gomez, not that far yet, but he's getting closer and closer in terms of fitness. So that's good news. Really good news is, obviously, if Trent Alexander-Arnold isn't out for 4 weeks, is possibility for playing tomorrow, then that means we don't miss him for such a run of games, including Leicester and such like that as well. Similar sort of thing with Trent Wijnaldum. I think that Gini is vital to our midfield, along with likes of Fabinho, but obviously if he's playing centre-back, then not Fabinho. It'd be maybe Trent Wijnaldum, Milner, a combination of maybe Shaqiri or Naby Keita, possibility of getting Jordan Henderson in there, but I don't want all three, Henderson, Wijnaldum, Milner, playing together. It becomes too static, and you're really going to have some creativity to get through the Crystal Palace team. Speaking of the Crystal Palace team, apparently Julian Speroni will be starting in goal. Apparently that's huge news. Apparently as well, Crystal Palace have quite a vast amount of injury issues and such like that as well, that apparently, a lot of people are running with that they have an injury crisis and everything like that. I don't know. I haven't looked into their injury situation, but I'm going to take it like it's going to be the best representation of Crystal Palace, obviously minus Benteke because he's still not there yet, but thank God, because he always scores against us, whoever he's playing for. But even so, I want to take it as if we're going to face the best Crystal Palace that can be in their current state, and that they're going to be up for it and they're going to cause trouble. Let's not forget, come on, these are the guys, I think they beat Man City 3-2. They beat Man City 3-2. Maybe Man City were in a little bit of a dip at that point when they did it. But that's no mean feat to come up with, to come up against Man City and win 3-2. All right, they might not pick up results a great deal elsewhere, but they had a real sweet spot right there. In their last game, I can't remember if they got beat or not. It might have been against Watford, but I can't exactly remember right now. But even so, Crystal Palace are a team that have always, since they've been in the Premier League, have kind of given us problems. They have given us problems. And I'm hoping that, obviously with Julian Speroni starting in goal for Crystal Palace, 39-year-old guy, hasn't played in a long time, it's just written in the stars that he's going to have a worldie, isn't he? He's going to be saving everything, left, right and centre. You're not going to be able to get past him very easily. I'm hoping that we can, go there. If we have to grind out a result like we did against Brighton, then that's what we have to do. We're going to have to work hard anyway. Palace are a difficult team for anybody to come up against. It's rare, I find, that teams walk through Crystal Palace. They might beat them, they might go on runs where they don't win games for a while, but it's very rare, I find, or that I remember, of Palace getting smashed. They are difficult to play through. They're difficult to play against. They've got difficult players, good players, like Zaha, Andros Townsend when he's on it. They have got some good players as well. Obviously, we know Mamadou Sakho and James Tompkins will be in the back line, I imagine. Obviously, in front of James Tompkins. And we know Sakho. Sakho can have a great game. He can also have a game where he has absolute shockers with his touch, his distribution, his passing options, and his choices that he makes. His decision making isn't always the best. And also the fact that Sakho and Tompkins are not the quickest centre backs of all time. They have to plan by reading the game, and that can be difficult when they come up, and I imagine they will come up against our front three, which is, obviously Firmino, Mohamed Salah, Mane. Whichever way they line up, whether it's Salah up front and Firmino dropping behind, whichever. You've also got to factor in there, depending on the formation that we play. If we play with a 4-2-3-1, you know that Shaqiri's going to be in there, which probably means that if you go with a 4-2 and Fabinho is playing centre-back, which I imagine he will be, then you'll have probably Gini Wijnaldum and Milner, or Gini Wijnaldum and Henderson, which wouldn't be too much of a problem, I don't think. It's when you get a three-man midfield with, Henderson, Milner and Gini Wijnaldum, I'm not a fan of that. It's too static. Whereas you've still got room to breathe with a little bit more creativity, with Firmino dropping in behind, Mane out on the left-hand side, Salah up front, and then you've got Shaqiri on the right-hand side. It allows us to still be creative while also being solid as well. I'm excited to see what Fabinho will be like at centre-back again. I felt he had a really, really good game against Brighton. He pulled out a man-of-the-match performance as well. He was very good. He was very key to keeping them quiet, and that was massive. In a game that was decided by a penalty, a 1-0 victory for us, massive, absolutely huge. Starting 11 for us, I would say Alisson, Robertson with his brand new contract, excellent stuff. New 5-year contract for Andy Robertson, the working class hero. He's phenomenal, he's awesome, and I can't wait to see more of him every single game. I always look forward to seeing all the players. I can't wait. Van Dijk next to him, you'll have Fabinho. Could have Trent Alexander-Arnold, we might have Milner there. Those are the options that we've got. I can't settle on which one because we just don't know who it's going to be yet. So I would say it's between Trent and Milner at right back. Depending on the right back issues and whether, if Trent's playing tomorrow, then the midfield will most likely have Wijnaldum in it if he's fit. But if he's not, you'd most likely then see Henderson and Milner if he's not at right back, or you might see Henderson, Naby Keita, something like that. That could be something that he goes to. Let me know what you think of that one. Having Naby Keita a little bit deeper, could that be a benefit for him, or would that be a hindrance? And then, again, I think the front four, if we're going to call it a front four, with Shaqiri, Salah, Firmino, Mane, I think that would be the way that we go forward in this game. And if Crystal Palace do have the injury issues that apparently they're said that they have, you always have that when it's days before games and days go by, people are saying it's an injury crisis, and then you come game day and they name their strongest 11. It's just how it is. That's how I prepare. If they have all these injuries, fair enough. But I'm thinking maybe it's a little bit of a ruse. Is it a little bit of a mind games or something like that? Do they actually have all of these injuries? It's always a question I always play, and I think it comes from, having seen what like Mourinho and stuff like that do throughout years when they say players are injured and then they travel with the squad and all of a sudden they're in the match day squad and blah blah blah. I digress quite clearly. Liverpool need to, they need to keep the momentum up. Okay, we've just come off the back of a couple of losses, one in the FA Cup obviously, and then the one against Man City, which again is not something that, it's not something to be sniffed at, really. It can go either way when you come up against Man City, and we were on the losing side of it that time. But we are coming up against a team that on their day, they've beaten Man City. They have gone and done a difficult thing there. And they can be a difficult team to come up against. I'm always looking forward to games to watch, but I'm always nervous beforehand, just because I know what to expect. I know not to expect just to walk through teams. I never expect that. I always expect, no matter what league they come from, that we're going to have a difficult game, but we will hopefully come out on the right side of it for us. Anyway, that's my feelings ahead of any game. In this game, I feel that we can build on the momentum that we had against Brighton. We may not have played our best at all times, but we ground out a really important victory against another tough team in Brighton, and I feel that we can do it again. I don't think it's going to be a game where we steamroll Crystal Palace. As I've said before, I don't think you really see a great deal of teams steamroll Crystal Palace. They are difficult. Roy Hodgson's done a good job at making them a resolute defensive unit, and they are difficult. They just like to make games difficult and physical as they can. But I feel that we can come out of this game at Anfield. I feel we can come out with a 2-0 victory. I wouldn't be surprised if they get a goal, but I feel that we can keep them out, and I think that we can get the 2-0 victory, and that is it for us. So, let me know what you think in the comments below. Let me know if you've got any goal scorers or tactics or anything different with formations, and hopefully, fingers crossed, we can have Trent Alexander-Arnold in, we can have Trent Wijnaldum in, as long as they're all 100% fit and ready, or as close to it as possible, and hopefully we can have a good game as well. If you've enjoyed this video, please do like it and subscribe if you're new around here. Thank you for watching this video, and I will catch you later.